There we go. So you'll see how my arm looks better now than it did. And if I go ahead and rotate that arm, you'll see it looks good. All right, so I'm happy with that. And the same thing has happened with my legs. I haven't changed the rotational axis yet, but I have moved the body above the legs. Oh, I got one leg above that body there. I'm going to drop that one down. So there, my legs look pretty decent. Now let's rotate the legs and see what happens. And again, I'm rotating on the knee, which I don't want to do. So I'll hold down my control key and I'm going to move it right up into the hip area. And I will test that. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm happy enough with that. And I'll do the same with the other side. Hold down control, move my central axis, click off and then click back on and then test. Okay, that looks good. So I've got my character. Oh, I forgot the head. Let's do the head and see where the head rotates. Okay, obviously not correct. Hold down control. Let's put it right at the bottom of his chin because the neck is actually part of the body. So when the head rotates, click off, click back on. There we go. I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've got a character now that's more or less put together the way I want it to be put together. However, we do have a problem. If I wanted this character to move around my screen, I click on the body, for example, and I move the body. I just have the body moving. There's no attachment between the other layers. They're all now just separate layers sitting there. So what I need to do is take care of that. And if I move the body, obviously I want everything moving with it. So I need to attach all of these limbs to the body. But if you think of this in another way, if I rotate the body, I don't want the legs rotating. I just want the arms and head rotating with that body. So I need to attach these in a way that makes sense. So in other applications that we've used, this is called parenting. I haven't heard them use this term with SYNFIG, but what we are going to do is group our layers and then have layers move with other layers. So the way we do that is I'm going to take the layers of the left hand, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and select my layers right here. And I can do it on here too, I'm guessing. No, I'm going to have to do it over here. So hold down your shift key and select your right hand and your left hand. I want you to select your body and your head. Now, in the order I have these, that's not going to work for me, is it? All right, so I'm going to move the legs down for just a second. And I'm going to choose the hand, the body, and the head. So I've got everything from the waist up, and I'm going to come down and click on the green folder, which will allow me to group that layer. So all of those things together now are grouped inside this folder. Now I'm going to change the name of this folder to body. So I now have a body PNG and I also have a body. Now if I click on this layer and I move the body, I now get all of those layers moving together. And within that layer, I can still click on an arm and move it, and it moves still stuck to the body, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to move this back now. Oh, I don't want to move that back. I want to move my body layer back and position it where I want it over the legs. There we go. And now I want to attach the legs to this grouping, but I want them to be separate by themselves, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to take the body and the legs, and I'm going to group them all together. So I'm going to group that again. Now I can make this simple by closing this right here. So I've closed that folder, so now I see just the body, which includes the head and the arms. And I'm going to close that folder. So now I have the body folder selected, and I'm going to choose both legs. And I'm going to group that, and I'm going to call this big grouping boy. So now if I click on the boy, I move the entire boy. If I open the boy up and click on the body, I just have control over the body. but I can still go to either leg and rotate either leg. I can move my whole boy, or I can simply rotate the body. Now, I just noticed something there. When I created the new body layer, I need to reset the axis for that. So I click on body, I hold control, and I move the green tab. There we go. So now I can still click on the body and rotate it. I can still rotate the legs individually. And if I want to, I can go ahead and move the entire boy. All right, so I'm happy with everything that's happened so far. So the last thing I want to do for my animation is bring in one more layer, and I'm going to import from my desktop. And I've found a nice picture of a room. So the boy is in his room or in the living room. I'm going to bring that down until I am happy with the size of it. And then I'll take that room layer and I will put it all the way down at the bottom below the boy. Now, as I see here, I've got my boy looking a little bit too large, so I'll simply click on that layer and scale the entire layer together. And we'll stand him over by the window. So there we go. So we've worked our way through all of these layers, importing them, grouping them, controlling their size, controlling where they are in terms of depth in relationship to other layers, and we have also changed the rotational axis of all of them. So now we're at the point where we're ready to do some simple, I say simple animation, we're going to animate multiple layers together. So in our previous animation tutorial, we simply animated the position of one layer as it moved around the maze. And our next step is going to be animating this character controlling all of the different layers that make him up. All right, so I'm going to let you practice this. I will attach all of the images that you need, except the background. You can do a Google search and find your own background. And remember, we have our zoom tool here that allows you to zoom in and zoom out. And we also have our view best fit. It's not really a best fit there, but you know how that tool works. And make sure you save your file. And I'll be back shortly with another video.